Alright, hey everybody. Long time no see. This is Triple J. This is another episode of Eye of the Samurai. I haven't done this in a while, so in case I have any new viewers, this is where I analyze pre-recorded matches, in this case tournament sets, but I've done online sets in the past as well. And I try to, move back, move forward, pause whenever I want to, and just try to talk about overarching themes as to what's going on. In this case, I'm going to be the Mitsurugi player on the left, and this is a match from Northeast Championships, the biggest tournament Soul Calibur has in America. This is in pools losers, and I'm playing against Sulton, the Cervantes player. Now, right off the bat, Mitsurugi versus Cervantes, this is actually, it's really funny to think about. This is the first tournament match I think I've ever had against Cervantes, despite the fact that he's an incredibly powerful character. I think that he's just a character that is wedged in between, like he's a pretty execution-heavy character, in which case a lot of people are going to steer clear of those types of characters, and the people who aren't are going to go to Alpha Patroclus because he's an even better character than Cervantes. Now, that might seem like an excuse, and I don't mean to make an excuse for what's about to happen, in case you guys haven't seen this match. It's relatively lopsided. But I don't mean to make an excuse. I'm just saying, that happens to be where I was coming from when I started going into this match. In terms of the matchup, I have been told by people like Hates that it's actually one of the few matchups that Mitsurugi is not favored in. It actually goes against him, which I never really had, and this match doesn't necessarily mean I agree with that. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but it is a matchup where Cervantes has a really great backdash, so you can get into the mode where you're just chasing him. Mitsurugi can't really set up the situation, the spacing that he really wants to, and also he doesn't have the best punishes in the world for things like 3B and 6-6A and stuff like that. But that being said, it's hard for me to believe that Cervantes has anything hugely over Mitsurugi. But why don't we get started? Sultan and I have played quite a handful of times online, so there are going to be a few things that are going to look kind of wonky that I'll explain, but that's just based on the stuff, like the history that we've had. We get a pretty neutral stage. I don't really care about ring outs all that much. It's a good whiff punish. Okay, so right there, that's going to be a really huge thing, both of these things. So the matchup is hugely, we're talking about two characters that have really heavy mix-ups in terms of low and mid. Now, against 99% of the characters in this game, I put into kind of two categories. Either one, their lows are just not all that impressive, to the point where I don't, like, they're either really slow so you can block them on reaction, or they don't really do all that much. Ivy's 1-1K, you can block on reaction, and Ezio 2K is annoying, but you never should really deal with blocking that low. And then you also have characters that have good lows, but their mids are so much scarier that the lows just aren't all that important. Patroclus is the main one. Yeah, 1K is really strong, but I just don't want to give Pat 6-6B or 1B ever. So, for the majority of the time, you'll find that in my matches, I pretty much never duck to block something, unless the low is going to kill me. I just feel like I use a lot of like stoic blocking as opposed to what I call dynamic blocking, which is like twitching over and over again. These two characters that you have on screen are basically the only characters I can think of in the game where I would actually promote legitimately blocking them, because 2KB and 1AB from Mitsu and Cervantes respectively are powerful enough to where you simply cannot ignore them, and you get huge rewards if you do in fact block them. They're two of the most unsafe moves in the entire game. Perhaps I'm not really all that prepared for that sort of thing, so I get chewed up by 1AB basically the entire set. It's arguably better than 2KB in terms of it catches movement, and it's a little bit forward. It's a little bit more forward, and obviously you get the knockdown and everything. But even still, it's something that I need to be worried about. Other than these two characters, and I guess when Viola sets up the orb, there's basically no other character I can think of in the game where I would actually promote twitch ducking and stuff like that. Because, it's really the only thing that is a worry is grabs, but you get a chance to break out of those all the time. So, it's not really all that important. But for these two characters specifically, you do have to do a lot of twitching, I think. So I get hit by a 1AB, And that whole situation right there comes from a lot of the matches that I've had with Sulton, the post 1AB on hit type of situation, where normally he'll go for something like that, which you just saw, 2-2K, or he'll go for, I can't remember the Cervantes input, but the one where it's like a tech crouch and it's like the second part of IGDR. He'll do that for like the tech crouching if I try to like chase him with like a 6-6A, or I try to go up with a grab, because you know it's pretty disadvantage on hit. So I just jam a 6-6B in there because he's so negative on hit. It'll actually catch a lot of stuff. In that situation, even though it worked, that's actually kind of on him. The 2-2K should be able to sidestep enough, but he just did it too soon. So I was able to catch him because 6-6B has just, you know, horizontal hitboxes up the yin-yang for no reason. So I immediately try to start ducking. In that kind of situation right there, I normally try to do like 4B on wake up because it'll work on a lot of situations, but you'll see he does 1AB. 1AB would have hit me, and I would have gotten hit with counter hit. I don't punish the B slide A there. That's real bad news. That shows my unfamiliarity with the matchup. And I didn't think that I had sidestepped a 1AB. I thought I had sidestepped something else. So here I think that he's not going to go for the mix-up. So here I get a 1B, or I get a BB. So a lot of interesting things happen at the end of this round. Like I said, I didn't punish the B slide A, and that's bad news. So like I said here, I thought that I had just sidestepped something. I wasn't really sure what it was, and so I just tried to react to it. I didn't think he was just going to continue with the 1AB, but it works out pretty well for him. I'm okay with taking that, and then I do the 4B. So here I do actually punish. It might not seem like a huge punish, Mitsu BB, but it is important to note that Mitsu BB does hurt a lot more than everybody else's traditional BBs. Mitsu BB is very odd in that sense. So I try to back up, and then I go back in, and at this point I figured that what with the fact that he's up against the corner, I thought that I had pressed enough to where he would stay frozen, but I was dead wrong about that, quite literally, and I lose the round because of it. 4B Brave Edge is a pretty good move in that situation because like it'll beat 4B, it'll beat all kinds of backdashing, stuff like that. So it frustrates me that I wasn't able to close that round out. There I meant to do a just guard off of the 6-6A, but I didn't get it, so the 6B8 just ends up getting blocked. So he's rolling a lot, he's catching me, I'm not really getting a lot out of my wake-ups, and I'm also not really doing well with, no, it's a good block, but I'm not sure what he was trying to go for there. I'm not sure why he dropped that punish. Yeah, he's doing really well. He knows that I'm trying to do a lot of verticals to keep him out, and so he does a lot of just run-in sidestep type stuff. And this is also one of the, I think, the bigger weaknesses that I have with the, let me just go back. One of the other bigger weaknesses that I have with this matchup. So right here, I just start rolling a lot, and Cervantes is actually very powerful in terms of catching people when they're on the ground. You saw that with 2A plus B in the previous round, but here, I don't know, I guess I got really greedy with the rolling. I tried to do exactly what he was doing to me, but Cervantes is a lot better at hitting prone opponents than Mitsurugi is. So I eat that, and then I eat that. Yeah, I get the jump kick, and he does the jump kick back to me. But a few things that I'm noting just in the first two rounds is that he's a lot more active than I think he's going to be, and I'm also not really able to figure out when he's going to come in and when he's not. I'm used to Cervantes being a lot more patient, but he really isn't. And he's also really into like these hard reads on really taking down certain things, such as the rolling and, you know, my movement and stuff like that. So we're down here now. I'm still okay with this. I don't think that Cervantes has wall combos that I've really seen that are particularly powerful. I'm just okay with like the neutral part of the stage. I don't punish it again. That's real bad news. Catches me here. I want to sidestep to get out away from the ring edge. So here I mess up. 4B on block kind of gives him the back B plus K. I meant to do 2-2B there, but I did it way too soon. I have to wait until the back B plus K happens. Once he says entertain me, then I can do the 2-2B, but if I do it too soon, then that happens, where I inputted the 2-2B and it extends my hurt box and I get beat up there. Arguably, 2-2B isn't really that good of an option in any case, but on top of it not being a good option in this situation, I'm also doing it at a bad time, so that's real bad news. I think he could have rung me out there, couldn't he? Isn't there a way for him to ring out from that side? And he just guards the second hit of 6-6B, which I tried to use to catch the movement, but it wasn't enough. And so I lose that round pretty convincingly. So he's a little bit more active than I think he's going to be. I can't really get him to freeze. He's doing a lot of rolls that are kind of beating me up, and yeah. And I'm also not punishing in appropriate places. I decided to keep the stage just because it's very, very neutral. He doesn't have the Just Guard there, so I'm okay with that. He catches my sidestep with B-Slide A. This is another thing. Now that I've actually punished 1AB, I was actually able to block it. I decided to go for 6-6B in that situation. Even if I had the meter for the Brave Edge, I wouldn't have done 3B, 2-6B Brave Edge. One, because it's the beginning of the round, I don't want to spend the meter on that kind of situation. And for two, you saw I was right back towards the ring edge, and I just want to get out of that situation. So like, there's the ring edge over there. Now, I just like this Oki position a lot more than 3B, 2-3-6B. I'm right in his face, like right away, and, you know, we get into the whole rolling situation, but I can catch him with like a 1K or a 1B, and, you know, I'm in the middle of the stage now, so I don't have to worry about ring edge pressure type stuff. Yeah, I'm just getting hit by 1AB all the time, and when I try to duck it, it doesn't work. Yeah, 4B just isn't very good due to like B-Slide A and 1AB, but I keep trying to do it because I'm bad. Oh, I remember this round. This round really frustrated me. So I'm just trying to, like, space it out. Like, I'm trying not to commit to much of anything. But I do. So in this situation, I had remembered the previous round where he had really knocked me on my ass when I was rolling too much, but I kind of remembered it in the middle of rolling, so I went to do a wake up 2A, I'm pretty sure. I just meant to do like a wake up small jab to hit him out of something like a 2A plus B that he was trying to time, or any kind of like slow type of mix up that he was going to go for, and it was just the absolute nut low timing for me to do something like that. So I end up losing that round again. And at this point I'm getting pretty frustrated in the match because he keeps clutching out every round that I even come close to winning. Good punish. So that was the situation I was talking about before, that move, where he had expected, I think, like a 6-6A or a grab or something like that, but I ended up just jamming a 6-6B in there, which does, you know, pretty sizable damage, and just takes away that post 1AB on hit mix-up thing that he's got going on. Again, he's rolling away from like 6-6-AB. I'm not sure why I was so adamant about that. I think it's just from my lack of practice. And I'm not doing a lot of whiff punishes, but I'm getting stuff now. See, like, that's the kind of space that I want. The kind of space that we're talking about right here. Where, like, you know, this kind of situation right here was finally where Mitsurugi is in a solid position against Cervantes in terms of spacing. Not to mention he's right at the back of the edge, so he doesn't really have a lot of movement in terms of trying to get away. But a screw up, and now it's opposite situation. I'm okay with that. Now I just decide to, like, back out and start a new position. He doesn't punish at that time. He expected the Brave Edge, so I give him the Brave Edge. Do I actually finally take like a single round? Thank you. It's important to note 4B is not a very good reversal in terms of dealing with like bulldoggy pressure. It doesn't actually have a lot of priority and relatively slow startup as compared to its animation. So that would have caught like 4B or a backstep or maybe even a sidestep if I didn't time it correctly. But you can like mash him out of that situation a lot. 4B isn't that kind of a move where you got to be worried about that sort of thing. I'm not sure why he starts off with that a lot. I also don't punish that, which is bad. So I'll go with 4KB because I want the wake-up situation. And again, he just rolls and hits me with a 2A. It's not really something that I'm doing very well with. And again, I get hit by 4B. Or my 4B gets hit out. I catch a sidestep there. I complete the combo. That's the legit punish. Okay, so two main things I want to talk about in this position where I really screwed up. So I lose the round again, which is also super frustrating me because again he's clutched it out from a huge life disadvantage. But that's really on me. So I want to go back to where I caught his sidestep with the 3B. So I catch him here. It's very obvious what I should be doing here. I should definitely spend the meter to kill him. I'm not sure if it would have killed him, and I'm not sure if the 1B would have worked, but he's literally in practical chip damage range. Just breaking a grab would have killed him after the CE. And the reason why I say spend the meter now as opposed to before is because I have just enough, it's just enough to kill him, and it's going to be my second round, meaning that if and when he wins the next round, I get the meter back, you know? But I don't spend the meter, which was a real mistake. He catches me, And here I make the second mistake. I didn't expect him to be back turn, and I think I did the sidestep 2-2B again too early. I had to wait. If I just, even, I don't even necessarily have to block. I just have to not press a button and extend my hitbox. I can sidestep that move. It's just that I'm sidestepping it and pressing a button, which is, you know, making me fatter, which is bad news. And at this point, he can just do like a run-up, mix-up, and I keep guessing wrong on the mix-ups. Anytime that I try to duck a 1AB, I end up eating something else, like a 6-6B. So I'll be honest, at this point, I've relatively checked out of the game. I'm not saying, I just need to get some momentum, and I'm just not able to get it. You know, that's cool and all that I got that punish, but, you know, I'm doing this, oh cool, now I'm gonna spend the meter. Real smart move, Jay. So I eat that. I finally don't duck into a mid, but I eat that instead. I just use this time, you know, 2A plus B on block isn't all that great, so I use this time to back up. That's a problem on his part. You should never, cardinal rule of Soul Calibur is never punish a ducked grab with another grab. It's like the only thing that I can actually still defend myself against. Not to mention Cervantes has that great, again, I really wish that I had studied up and knew what that move was, but the move that looks like the second hit of IGDR, where he just kind of like tornado up throws. That's a fantastic tech crouch that does absolutely massive damage that you can technically use to punish a ducked grab, so. There we go. So I think he thought that I was going to sidestep with the B-slide A, and then I was able to grab him again out of 4B Brave Edge. That's a little bit weird, but, you know, I remember it causing a little bit of a reaction when it happened, but it's not that big of a problem. 1A plus B post. I guess I just need to like get a little bit better at the post 1AB on hit type of stuff. I don't know why I didn't do 2-3-6B. And that really frustrated me. Now, you know, he kind of deserved it, but at the same time, I felt that that was very janky, and it really bothered me. But again, he rolls, and again, I fall for it, so I expected like a 2A. So I try to sidestep away, and I guess that has hitboxes in the back. And I remember that really bothering me, and Sultan kind of giving a chuckle. I'm not sure if he expected that, but that really bothered me. And so if I remember correctly, I take a little bit of time. But at this point, I've kind of been like, I am so unprepared for this game that it's really not looking good for me. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is really difficult for me to do. This is the most brutal set I've done in Eye of the Samurai. This is really brutal for me to do. But hey, I'm starting to, oh boy, I'm starting to adapt a little bit here. You know, he's doing a roll, and I'm expecting him to do a 2A after he screws up his just guard. So here I do like the whiff, but then I try to do a 2A right here. So that kind of works. So, you know, there's something there. I don't know why my sidestep didn't work. I kind of understand why the sidestep didn't work there. And again, I'm wrong. I'm figuring a 1AB, and it didn't work. 4B doesn't work in that position. Yeah, it's really cool that I get that punish, but I still need a lot more, so I'm not going to spend the meter here. Here, he gives me an opportunity, so I am going to spend the meter here. And wouldn't you know it, I guess wrong twice again, both on my offense and on the defense. I remember looking back at Zero Effect and was like, he's never wrong. Like, I can't get him to guess wrong. And he was like, yeah, you just can't. Here, this might look kind of janky, what I do here. After the 3-3B on block, I know it pushes Cervantes out a whole lot, but I feel like a lot of Cervantes players try to be a little bit more passive after that gets blocked, so I imagine he's going to do like a little bit of sidestepping and kind of end up over here. So what I meant to do, and what I did do, was 2-6A, like a delayed A off of the 2-3-6, meaning I'm jutting myself out forward a lot and trying to catch his movement, but obviously that's a huge weakness because he just jams IGDR in my face and I take 1.2 trillion damage. So, like, the hardest reads ever, just annihilating me time and time again. I can never guess the 1AB. I think I did a 4B in this situation, which is why I get, this is really, this is really tough for me to watch. Just like, I look like a fool. I mean, that happens every once in a while with me, where I just kind of look really silly when I play a game, but, boy howdy, it's just... Yeah, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the game, where if he does the 2-2K properly, the 6-6B won't hit it like it did in the beginning of the game. I think I caught a just guard there. I'm still doing, you know, the 6-6A-B. That was like a dropped input for an A grab like 3 times in a row. Catches me with 4B. I just let him do that so that I can do the punish off of the BB. And yeah, he just kind of, I don't know, I got outplayed. And here I just guess wrong on a 1AB twice in a row. And I lose that game. But yeah, that was Losers of NEC. I was knocked out of the tournament at that point. I think it's like the worst showing I've ever had in a Soul Calibur 5 game. But this is one of those games where I really got to ask anybody who watches this, comment on the video, tell me on Facebook, tell me on 8-Way Run, tell me on YouTube what I was doing wrong other than the stuff that I described. I don't really feel like I was chasing him all that much. I know that's one of the cardinal rules that you're not supposed to do against Cervantes. I was just guessing wrong all the time. I didn't have my punishes, and I screwed up a little bit of decision making in the middle. But yeah, I just kind of got outplayed, and I'll just try to get more experience with Cervantes next time. And also, in closing, that's the end of the game. Did I get like a single round? I think I got like one round. Oh boy, I really need to start practicing this matchup because this was gross. This was a gross thing to deal with. But I also want to take this moment to Sultan, if you end up watching this, I want to apologize to you. Not for anything that I did directly, but kind of just the stuff that was going through my head. Where before we met and before we played this match, I assumed two things about you. One, that your gameplay online was not going to translate very well into offline play. I thought you were going to be very nervous and you were going to do these really high-risky things that don't actually translate well to an offline environment. You were just used to dealing with people who didn't punish very well. Now, I didn't punish very well in that situation, but also it's a lot more solid than I thought it was going to be. But also, the other thing that I want to apologize for is that I always imagined that if and when you went to a tournament, you were going to be like all the other online people that I've met over the years, where you're going to be incredibly overconfident, and if and when you beat me, you would immediately think that I was less than you, and you would be very cocky and throw it in my face. But from what I understand, anybody who talked to you about it, you just said that you got a few lucky reads, you kind of downplayed it, you were very humble about it, and this kind of goes for Nice Like Ice as well. Again, I thought you were just going to be some online twerp that I was really just not going to like. But both of you guys and a lot of the other new kids were really nice and really complimentary, even when I felt like I didn't deserve it. And I just really appreciated the attitude, or really the lack of attitude that I was seeing at NEC. It was one of the even though that it was one of my worst tournament performances, it was one of my favorite tournament experiences that I've had in a very long time. Just because there was no, I don't know, there was no like bashing egos, there was no just super cocky shit talk that really doesn't mean anything, just the same bland shit talk over and over again. Bitch this, bitch that, like, none of that happened, and it was just a, bunch of guys playing Soul Calibur. And even though the Soul Calibur community is incredibly small, and that bothers some people, it really means a lot to me that we can have situations where we're just playing a game and we're trying to learn from each other. And so I actually like where the Soul Calibur community is going. It's just a bunch of guys playing and learning the game, and attitudes outside of the game are completely taken away. So I just wanted to say apologies to the attitude and the kind of condescension that I had for the newcomers. Even if I didn't really project it, it is what I was thinking. And secondly, I just really appreciate that like the new people coming in are like these really fantastic attitudes. So this is going to be my first match of NEC. I will go down the list of all the people who have wanted me to do certain matches of theirs for NEC pools. If anybody has matches from pools at NEC that they do not want me to do a video for, please let me know and I will take it off the list. But I'm going to be doing at least the majority of pools matches. But I'll see you guys next time. All right, thanks very much.